Welcome back, man. Welcome back, guys. Welcome to the channel, guys. Here we are again, guys, at this '09 Chrysler 300. Yes, Chrysler 300. Okay, where we leave off at, guys? Where we left off is y'all know the story. I don't want to waste time backtracking. If you missed the story or missed the complaint or missed the history of the car and what I'm doing, what's going on, I'm gonna card that right here. Go check that out, guys. But quick recap. I was given a part, or actually this part. It's a brand new throttle body. The lightning bolt light on and the checking the light on. I had a lot of throttle body codes. Okay, codes that pertain to throttle body. Codes that have the word throttle body in it. So the previous mechanic naturally suspected the problem is like the actual throttle body. And guys, I've already spoke on being careful how you interpreted fault code names. Okay, just because the name implies or will name out a certain part does not mean the actual part is at fault. Okay, so I won't spend a lot of time on that either. But where we are right now, I still have the same problem, guys, even with the new throttle body on here. Okay, so actually I got a throttle body there's nothing wrong with. Now, I have the daunting task of finding out what is exactly wrong with the car. Okay, now this is a 6-pin connector at this throttle body, and one of the main connectors, likely this red and yellow wire, happens to be or should be 5 volts. That's one of the first thing this throttle body is looking for. Okay, now I would suspect it has 5 volt because I'm not getting a 5 volt reference code. All right, so we're gonna cut out all the suspicious. No more guessing, guys. We've obviously done enough guessing. Not me, but we. Okay, I'm a team player. We are a team here. We cover each other back. We help each other out. I have no problem with that. All right, so I have my test light here, when in fact I will need DVOM. Okay, digital volt ohm meter. All right, guys, so what I'm gonna do now, I'm sure I'm gonna have to do some tests at the controller, which is hidden under there. PCM is hidden under there. I'm sure I'm gonna have to test some wiring between and y'all know this is kind of weird the way this wire harness run all the way through, and it goes up to the PCM, and it's looking for, I had a guy comment, Jack's journal, map sensor. Yes, barrel pressure is read by the map sensor, but the computer is looking for input from this map sensor, Jack, in order to dictate what the throttle body should do. Okay, I'm sure based off the load and the barometric pressure that the sensor is reading, will affect idling. Okay, and idling, 80%, 90% of the idling comes from this throttle body. All right, guys, so let me take a quick break, and we're gonna go back to the computer and find out what is the steps that they want me to do to find out why I still have this fault code, this check engine light, and this lightning bolt light. All right, stay tuned. I'll be right back. All right, guys, first thing first, here we are. I have this diagnostic already pulled up. We just continuing from the last diagnostic. Okay, we're dealing with a P2135. That is my active hard fault code. Okay, now like I said earlier, this manifold absolute pressure, which detect barrel pressure, it's going to give an input to the controller, and based on some of those calculation and input, it will command the throttle body to do things. All right, so guys, we don't need to waste a lot of time. We went over possible causes. Okay, to me, I consider these all guesses. I highly recommend you follow the tree to find out. Okay, my problem could easily lie in this top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This middle 6. Okay, throttle body's been replaced, and the likelihood of the PCM is faulty is slim, but you shouldn't say that. We should do the testing, and that is exactly what we're gonna do. All right, number 1 is the DTC is active. Okay, yes, guys, the DTC is active. What they want me to do: start the engine and allow it to reach operating temperature. With the scan tool, select view DTCs. Is the DTC active? Yes. If the answer is yes, it wants me to go to step 2. Step 2 simply states they want me to look for 5 volt supply, high resistance. Okay, that 5 volt wire that I spoke of on the connector. Yes, it's pin 2, the red and the yellow wire. So they want me to, what they want me to do, using a voltmeter, perform a voltage drop test by back probing F85 to 5 volt supply at the throttle body and the controller. Okay, but they do not want me to tie into the controller. They want me to use the breakout box. I have one, guys. Yes, glad I have one. All right, so what I'm gonna do, a voltage drop between, what is this, C2229, that pin, and the 5 volt pin. First thing first, they want me to do a voltage drop. Of course, set my meter up, start the engine. If the voltage is below 0.5 volts, they want me to go to step 3. If it's not, I have a problem, guys. So I have to repair that wire for high resistance. Okay. All right, guys. That's the first part of the diagnostic. Now, where will this lead me? I have no idea, guys. But there's more to come. The key here, guys, is to follow the steps. All right. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So, guys, let's go back to the car and do this test. Let's get it. All right, guys. Here we are. And ta-da! Yes, this is my breakout box, guys. This will give me pin access. Basically, I'm finna tie in through the computer. Okay, instead of back probing the terminals on the computer connector, I will place one end into the controller and the other end on the connector. That will give me access to all the pins. I can do my testing here. Okay, that is so much better than risking the chance of stretching pin terminals. See, this is so much easier. So, guys, what we need to do is gain access to, that's right, guys, the PCM is hidden under here. Let me grab, let me get this cover off so we can gain access to this PCM. All right, let's get it. All right, guys, I got the PCM out of its hiding place, out of its shell. Now, the connector is a 4-pin PCM controller. Okay, they want me to, well, most of my work going to be done in connector 2, which will make this connector 2. Obviously, if you're ever confused by which connector, guys, just know that green represents transmission, and transmission is always the last, the fourth, in this case, the fourth terminal. Okay, so if this is 4, this is likely 3, 2, and 1. So that should be easier to remember. And for where connector 2 is 3, this is missing because this car likely have a nag transmission. Nag 1 transmission have its own controller. It's called a TCM, transmission control module. It is housed under the steering wheel, guys. Okay, so this connector is not needed because it has its own module. So since we're going to be doing all our work in connector 2, and I have my breakout box here, guys, I'm going to take these, I'm going to go in line with the computer, guys. Okay, so likely this end going in the computer and this end going in the connector. All right, let's get it. Let's get connector 2. Oh. All right, so this is going to go right here. And wait, yeah, this goes in here and this goes in here. Make sure I'm plugging it in. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Wait a minute, guys. Hold on, let me pick this up. I need some light. Do y'all see that, guys? Whoa, look at the little gremlins. How does it look inside the controller? Is that water? Look at that, guys. Hold on. Wait a minute. Okay, guys, look at these terminals. Yeah, we may not have to do much of anything. I can physically see gremlins inside this connector. I was getting ready to plug this into the, I was getting ready to bypass. Okay, none of that matters. Is that water? All right, guys, hold tight. I'm taking this PCM all the way out. This is where all my problems at. Is that moisture? Look at that, guys. Oh my goodness. Look at that. How water get, is that moisture? How moisture get in number 2 only? Look, the rest of 1 and 3 is dry. Holy crap, guys, we got something going on here. All right. Yes, this will cause high resistance in the wiring. Okay. Okay, guys. I will have to go explain to my manager my findings. There's no sense. There's no point in. I have to fix this first. What I'm trying to say, guys. All right, I gotta stop right here, fellas. So I know y'all hate these part 2, part 1, part 2, part 3 videos, but I have no choice. We getting ready to shut down. It's like the end of the day. I at least wanted to find out what my problem is. Oh my goodness. Well, I at least wanted to find out what the problem. I thought maybe I would find some wiring short and wiring burnout under here. Even my man Tom Cook, even he had some suggestions about grounds, loose ground wires. I was about to check all of that, but I see I need to start here with my troubles. All right, so yes, we got like an hour left. I'm not gonna have time to. Oh man, okay, I'm kind of a little startled, guys. Please forgive me. But all right, did that moisture travel through here? Let me see something. See, this is dry. I don't know if y'all ever seen pressure, like a connector, like connected to like an oil pressure sensor. Sometimes, guys, the sensor can give out and pressure would push fluid, or in this case, oil up through the harness into the controller. This is pin 2. I'm still baffled on how that oil got in there. Yes, I'm almost certain these terminals right here are related going to the throttle body. All right, guys, I'm talking too much. Here's what I'm gonna do. I have to shut this video down. Obviously I have no choice. It have to be a part 3, guys. So we're gonna do a part 3 on the repair. I just call this the diagnosis. Okay, that makes sense. Part 1 was the install. Yes, it's installed. Found out it's not my problem. So now we had a diagnosis. In the middle of diagnosis, I find out what I need to repair. Yes, that makes sense. All right, so that's what we're gonna do. That's the plan, guys. Stay tuned for part 3. All right, of this diagnosis. We troubleshooting an active fault code. Guys, I'm gonna say this: active is better. When you have an active problem, that makes your life so much easier, guys. It's those pesky intermittent problems that could make you pull your hair out, guys. I happen to get lucky if this be an active problem. So I'll see y'all in part 3. Stay tuned. I'll be right back on part 3. Stay tuned.